Gadgets themselves aren't the problem, Shazi, but overusing them can be. Studies have shown that overuse of gadgets shrinks the brain. Excessive usage of gadgets can lead to lower IQ levels or low concentration. So, parents need to understand between the use, overuse, and the addiction. Technology has brought in a lot of ease for us. It's going to get even more advanced. So, if we deprive them of the digital gadgets at the young age, we are not preparing them for the complex technology world that they will have to handle in the future.
According to a 2022 report, 27% of the parents said that their children between the age group of 9 to 13 had access to smartphones. Children in this age group, on an average, spent 3.4 hours daily engaging in activities such as watching videos, social media consumption, and gaming. Additionally, 87% of children between the age groups of 12 to 15 and 80% of children between the age groups of 6 to 11 had access to smartphones and the internet. Now, naturally, the next question that we ask is, should we start panicking and outright ban devices at home? Today's episode, we're going to try and take a look at the fine line between digital dependency and digital addiction and how parents can help their children strike a balance. Hello and welcome to Guidecast, an initiative by Narayana Educational Institutions. With a legacy of 45 years, Narayana Educational Institutions is committed to the overall development of the students and helping them realize their dreams. Because at Narayana, your dreams are our dreams. I am your hostess, Shezi. Joining me today is Vijaya Lakshmi ma'am. She has an illustrious experience of 25 years in psychology. With her expertise in behavioral science, she has managed to come up with some truly stellar mental health programs. As Chief Welfare Officer at Narayana, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am is committed to empowering parents develop strong bonds with their children. A very warm welcome to you, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am.
Thank you, Shazi.
Ma'am, before we get into digital addiction, I'd like to understand a little bit more about digital dependency. Is it absolutely that red devil that we are painting it out to be?
Digital dependency is definitely not the red devil that we are painting it out to be. If used mindfully, it offers significant advantages. I would say, technology has brought in a lot of ease for us. Like it has helped us increase networking. It has also increased the communication channels, access to information, access to educational tools, also simple things like school apps or tools to track your child's safety. So, as parents, how do we help the child to handle the digital world? So, if we deprive them of the digital gadgets at the young age, we are not actually helping them. We are not preparing them for the complex technology world that they will have to handle in the future. So, it's appropriate for parents to understand what can they do to ensure a healthy means of use with the digital gadgets.
Okay, ma'am. So now let's talk about digital addiction, and I really want to understand the damage that it is capable of doing.
Digital addiction is very much prevalent and it's a very complex issue. We see most of the times kids glued to the screens or they're in their games. So parents need to understand between the use, overuse, and the addiction. What usually happens when children are spending a lot of time on gadgets, they're missing out on other activities which are integral part of the child development. For example, they would be missing out on the physical activities, the physical games or the social interactions. Children who also spend a lot of time on games, they're used to instant gratification. This leads to instant reward system and it becomes very difficult for them to handle frustration. This increases their anxiety levels. Certain times, a few of them also feel, they might get a heart attack if they lose their phone. Now, when coming to the damage part, studies have shown that overuse of gadgets shrinks the brain. The brain is multifunctionary, but when the child is overexposed to gadgets or when he's spending so much time on the gadgets, only a part of his brain gets used. So, what this results in is it creates poor attention spans, lower EQ, and the logical skills and decision making skills gets compromised. Even when someone is overexposed to social media, it tends to have the child isolated because they see the better versions of their friends on the gadgets, and then it leads to lower self-esteem. I'll tell you one of the case that we have handled where the parent was explaining the child's behavior. So this child, he gets up in the morning in a hurried way. He rushes to the morning routine. He eats his breakfast in a rush, and then he spends 1 hour on the gadget, and then he leaves to school. After he comes back, also it's a similar pattern that is followed. He rushes with his homework, and then he spends 1 hour on the gadget. So when we've observed, it is, to spend that 1 hour on the gadget, he rushes through all these things, which led to anxiety.
Ma'am, how can parents help the children strike a right balance and regulate digital dependency?
There are several things that the parents can do, Shizi. Firstly, they can set in time limits as per their age. It's like the gadget curfew. And engage the child in a physical activity after school. So, with time which is away from screens. And for parents, when both of them are working, it might be tough, but one needs to ensure that the children are not left alone with gadgets. And parents also need to be observant as to, what is happening. Like if the child is getting cranky when the gadget is taken away, right? So these are the signs that the parents can watch out for. Another thing that the parent can be doing is establishing ground rules. Okay. Right? So when gadgets have to be shut down. And in this process, the child can become, frustrated, or they can become angry, but do not hesitate to take away the gadget because it's all part and parcel of the process. And strike a balance between physical activity and gadget usage. And one more thing, Shazi, while establishing these ground rules, the parent also needs to be mindful. While they're saying all of this, and if they themselves are on the gadgets most of the time, they're not actually modeling the right behavior.
Don't simply talk the talk, walk the talk. It's time for my favorite part of the episode, myth debunking. Ma'am, in today's day and age, all these gadgets are spoiling the child.
Gadgets themselves aren't the problem, Shazi, but overusing them can be. Think of it like food. We all need food for energy, but overeating of the wrong kind can lead to health problems. So, similarly, excessive usage of gadgets can lead to issues like lower IQ levels or low concentration and things like that. So, it's all about striking the right kind of balance and moderation.
And we have some questions from parents. Let's take a look at those now. Every time I tell my 13-year-old child to get off the device, he tells me that most of my schoolwork is happening on them. How can I set an effective boundary?
Most of the time, Shazi, students use schoolwork as a pretext to be on the internet for long. While the child requires some time, for his homework, he needs access to information on the net. While he's searching through the content, there would be a lot of other content that can be popping up. So this could be distracting. And if the child actually requires 1 hour, while he's accessing the other information, it takes more time than it is required. So restricting a time that you can access the net for 1 hour, it makes the child feel conscious about what he's accessing.
Right.
Secondly, asking the child to work in a common area, for instance, the dining room, it helps the child to be mindful. One more thing that the parent can be doing is during dinner time, have general conversations. How did their homework go? What is the kind of research that the child has done? So this keeps a tab for the parent on the kind of content that the child is accessing.
Here's another one, ma'am. My son is 12 years old and has been engaging with many people through online gaming, and I'm concerned about who he's interacting with. What steps can I take to ensure his safety?
It's understandable to be concerned, Shizi. So parents need to keep an eye on the gaming activities of the child and also be aware of who they are interacting with. Using parental controls to monitor and restricting communication features when necessary also helps. When the parent is aware of the gaming activities and the potential risks that it involves, it helps the parent to guide the child better. Now, apart from all of this, the parent also needs to educate the child on the privacy settings, and the child needs to be aware that they can't be sharing the personal information. So role playing of scenarios where the child is able to recognize and respond when they are facing a difficult situation.
Just like all things in life, balance is key. My takeaway from today's conversation is that it would be very unfair to deprive a child of the benefit of all things technology in a world that is very clearly technology driven. Instead, what we can do is really regulate the usage to the best possible advantage.
You're right, Shazi. Technology is here to stay. And as parents, how do they help the child strike the balance is important. So if you're struggling in this process, we are here to help because at Narayana, your dreams are our dreams.
Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, I'm always so grateful for the valuable perspective that you bring, and this has been such an enriching experience. Would you like to share a little bit about what the next episode has to offer?
Right. In today's episode, we've talked about the digital dependency and the addiction it can lead to. So, this also affects the child's concentration and focus. So, in the next episode, we'll talk about concentration and how do we improve the focus.
Wonderful. If you have any questions regarding this particular topic that you would like to ask Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, do drop them in the email address that is appearing on the screen in front of you. In fact, if you have any other thoughts, please share them with us in the comments below. Once again, ma'am, thank you so very much for your time today and for this wonderful initiative by Narayana.
The pleasure was mine. Thank you, Shazi.
Thank you for joining Guidecast, where we are dedicated to helping you understand and support your child's journey to success and fulfillment. With insights from Disha, the mental wellness program by Narayana Educational Institutions, a beacon of educational excellence for over 4 decades, we aim to empower parents and students alike. Remember, at Narayana, your dreams are our dreams.